Hello and welcome to today's Q&A. It's Sunday, the 16th of April. Joined by Matthew and the rest of the community for a Q&A. If anybody's got any questions, feel free to type into the question section or write into the StarShip Discord for your questions, and I'll read them out and get them answered as we come across them. Thank you. Welcome, Matt.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, guys. So let's get it started, Stuart.
Okay, first question is from the Jedi, and it's to do with the bronze packs, so from the original SSU sale. Will Bronze Grassland packs go back onto the market, or will there be will they be limited to whoever bought them originally?
Everyone will get their NFTs back, but they may be different NFTs. We'll try to find something equivalent, and we're as we said before, we're not going to sell or add any onto the market unless there's an actual utility for those NFTs. So that's a promise that we made to you guys, and that's all.
Excellent. So anything that was already promised, we're still going to deliver upon, essentially.
Yeah. Now, maybe the NFT image will change. Maybe the utility from before to now could change a little bit.
Yeah.
We kind of just need a little bit of time to put all the data together, get these releases out, because there's quite a bit of stuff that has to get packaged together. There's, probably 3 months worth of releases that are going to happen. Probably a little bit. You'll see something being pushed every week, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I've sort of tried to prepare people for these aren't answers that we can give, 100% categorically today. So the best thing to do is to, just to try to reassure to people that, something will be done and you will get your money's worth, out of anything. Nobody will lose any plots. Nobody will lose anything. It's just a case of working out what's the right way and the best and most efficient way to do it for everybody.
Yeah, obviously we're trying to get out as fast as we can. Plus, we have, three development teams, and they're all coming together under Cam's leadership. So we're trying to get everybody on the same page. So that kind of stuff takes a while too, and it eats into our productivity. Obviously, in the future, it'll be good, but there's definitely a lot of information that we have to absorb, plus Can has to absorb from our dev team, and then we'll figure out who's going to do what, and I think we'll be on the right track then.
Yeah, and I think to be fair, the whole community are fully understanding of that. They've been amazingly good in the sort of transition period over the last sort of week or so, because there's so many questions that can be asked, but we don't have the answers for absolutely everything at the moment, and I've got to say I'm immensely chuffed with the community, because they've held back to a large extent on questions that we don't have the answers for. Eventually, obviously, they're going to want answers, and we'll be in a position to answer them. But I really do appreciate how well the community has taken what's gone on, considering everything that's gone on previously, and then all of a sudden we've got everything back. It's amazing for us.
We did promise we'd get it back. People need to start taking us more seriously.
Yeah, and I've got to say, Matt, I hold my hand up. You've done everything that you said you'd do. At times it was, a little difficult to believe, or a little difficult to see how you was going to pull it off. But again, I'll hold my hand up, and I was wrong, and I know more than most people, and at times it was difficult to understand. It was difficult to know everything that was going on. But fair play to you. You're a man of your word, and what you said happened will happen. So, hats off to you. Fucking good for you. I never had any doubt, but it was hard to believe at times, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I understand. We're very we're very used to doing the unbelievable. Not a lot of people thought we'd get BitBoy as a partner. We did. Not a lot of people thought we'd get some of the partners we got and we did, and well, I guess they're not partners, strategic alliances.
So the next question is from Ronnie. Can we have a roadmap of what order things are going to be released in? We have the new user, the new UI, have the new arena, and now SSU all in the works. How are they all going to be integrated?
Yeah, so I think I shared this on our last AMA, but there's a way for them to integrate, just like a WebGL or a URL or a web page, a traditional Web 2 web page within the game or Starship universe. So those games will still function. They'll still be worked on by the dev team. And by those games, I mean our original game where you mine on the planets, and then our arena game. Those will be playable. As for roadmap, I think we're prioritizing documentation, getting that documentation out to you guys, and you're going to see a release every week. But as soon as we have the available resources to just get that info out to you guys, I mean, we're getting it as fast as we can. But there's just so much. I mean, there's a year and a half worth of development, if that makes sense. But we will have it out as soon as possible. And every week you should see some sort of update, new push, new release, whether that's on the arena side, the regular game, or SSU.
The next question, it comes from Ronnie again. It's planets that were owned planets were mentioned as being integrated into Starship Arena. Is there any benefit or use case to this, or is it just a visual thing?
On planets we were talking about, right now 20% of the fee for the arena gets burned. So it just gets burned. What we were talking about was having arena NFTs, just like we have space station NFTs, where if you owned one, you could have some of those percentage of coins if you stake that NFT. So right now it's 20% burn, but maybe later we can add that other feature. As for the planets, my ultimate goal, and I haven't been able to finalize all the details with Can yet, so we probably have the original idea that Can had within there, plus we start to mix in our current NFT game. So my goal is 10 small planets, very small, if that makes sense, and 10 small planets, 10 different types, and then those can be associated with our planet NFTs. So that's my ultimate goal, and we still, I think he sent over some creatures to get created the other day. So there's a lot happening. I mean, I think the dev team grew to, between Stuart's help and all the developers and the artists and everything, I think we're almost at 10. So there's a lot to manage and a lot going on.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's a lot to take on. It's a lot of information to process. There's a lot of information to try to understand, get your head around, and then try to process into, to turning it into games and things like that. A lot of my attention is sort of for the NFT game, where obviously Matt has to sort of get his head around absolutely everything. So a little bit of time, just for Matt to understand everything that's going on. I'm sure he's got most of it, on his plate, at the moment, but just a little bit of time, which, to be fair, everybody's given him. So this is no criticism of anyone, because everyone has been bloody amazing.
But there's something else to note too, which this is why Can and them are so busy. Basically, the launcher was just added, so they have to add all of the features of the game onto the launcher version. So that's kind of what everybody's scrambling to do. So we get all the stuff released, and then as we're releasing stuff, we're documenting it for the community, and it's just it's incredible how much stuff is happening all at once.
Yeah, I try to keep up with everything, and it's just so much to try to get your head around everything. So yeah, there is so much to come. I read a lot of the chats, and the most part from the new game is the graphics are amazing, the size of it is amazing. I've not really seen any complaints of it yet. There's been a few comments of there's not much to do, but all those things come in time. Those are things that will happen.
I think there are 2 games that are releasing, which we're going to. I just don't know how fast it will happen. But we want to integrate the Infinity Arena tickets into it. So basically, every competitive game that there is, which I think the first 2 competitive games are racing inside the space station, and then fighting. So you'd be able to utilize those Infinity Arena tickets and compete against each other. And those 2 games, I really think they're going to happen soon. I want to say, I don't even want to say it, but probably next week.
Next month.
We'll say next month, but probably next week. We just got to get all this stuff done.
Putting that into a little context that most people may understand a little more. I know what you said makes perfect sense. Going back to the original Starship Universe game, we was going to have a section that was basically people could fight in and shoot stuff in, and we could have another section where people could just run around and explore and just do their mundane things. Is that essentially what we're still going to have, or is it going to be 2 separate games, one a fighting game and one like an exploring game, or is it all going to be associated with the metaverse?
I don't really want to call anything a metaverse anymore, not until I actually feel like it is.
Okay.
But there's going to be a lot in there. There's a lot of creative people on our team, and they all have different ideas. And what's cool is when we complete one little module, it allows us to easily and rapidly add other things that are built on top of that foundation. So you'll probably see a lot of different things happening, like quests. You're going to be able to go fight and level up your character and mine. And Can has a pretty interesting idea about different level planets, and some planets you have to protect your resources that you're mining while there's storms and different types of weather. So we'll see what happens on that. But I think there's going to be a lot of different things. Especially, I'd like to focus more on us giving tools to our builders and our creators. Like imagine if Shooty, our lore keeper, or some of our other creative people, maybe let's say Mike Miller, who's Funky Monkey Frat House. So let's say those creative people had the tools within our ecosystem to build and create and sell, and so I want to focus more so on helping the creatives create. And I think if we can do that, then the ecosystem is going to grow really fast, especially if we offer ways for them to monetize and stuff like that. So if you go look at Sandbox, there's like 3 different ways that their base monetizes. A lot of it comes from allowing artists to create things listed on the marketplace. They get the revenue from that, and that was where they heavily focused. And then they're building tools so that their community members can build games and create things. So although I would go in a much different path than Sandbox, I feel like That's going to be the best thing to do, is just provide the tools so that you guys can create things. But again, we're also creating things within there. Ken's team has created a lot. We'll just, I'll leave it at that.
All right, sounds amazing. There's a lot going to be going on in there. And then I think it's just getting that balance right.
There's a little quest that we are adding. I've said it before in the community. I love, there's a game called Final Fantasy 11, and they had a notorious monster system, and some of the monsters would spawn every 4 hours, some would spawn every week, some would spawn once a month, randomly. So you have all these teams out looking for these monsters. Some of the bigger ones, you could hold them with, a 5-man team, but you could only hold them so long. Once your team was to provoke that monster, you call up all your friends, and they're usually sleeping, they're all over the world, and 30 people go and wipe it out. I love that. That was probably my favorite thing to do, and it taught me a lot of patience. So I did talk to Ken about that, and we were going to have, crypto monsters. We might have FTX pop up, and everybody runs them down. But, and then crypto gods, you might have like an Elon Musk, or a CZ. But anyways, we have our first monster that we did submit to the artist. Ken says the rest of that is easy, timer pop. Everybody flies to it. The business model part of it for monetizing is, if you're flying to that monster, you're using kyanite to fly there. Half of it can get burned, the other half can go to a rewards pool. When whoever kills it, then they get the reward. So it's kind of just a little something fun that we can start to build and add on to.